label, Vic.
Oh, me too, me too.
Hope you more this time.
I know our spot has to be drier than the last.
Yeah, they've been running for several minutes. I just heard them a while back. They were already going.
They know where we're going from here. So I want you guys to take your minute, 30 seconds. I want you to think, meditate, whatever you want to do. I'm going to pray for safety for each and every one of you guys out here in the crowd that are going to follow us from this location to where we go to. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for the opportunity to join with the People's Convoy here at Hagerstown Speedway. I pray for every soul that's out here. I pray that they would seek you and they would find you. I pray for their safety. Pray for the safety tonight. Come on. I pray that you would take and lay a special hand on leadership and help them to lead these folks to where they are supposed to be. I pray that you would soften the hearts of the folks in DC and the ones that are not there because of all of these stupid mandates and the stupid laws that allow them to vote from anywhere that they want to be in this great nation. I thank you for our great leaders that founded this nation, and I pray that you will continue to keep this a great nation blessed by you. In your name I pray, amen. All right, guys, we have another speaker that you guys are very, very familiar with. I'm trying to find him in the crowd. Where'd he go? All right, we'll come back to that one in a minute. I want to welcome to the stage a friend of mine, soon-to-be graduate of the University of Maryland, Justin Wages. He's running for state delegate here. His story, very, very interesting. I hope that you guys will see the craziness of what we have endured at a school level, and hope that you'll understand his interest in heading to Annapolis.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, guys. It's great to be back here in Hagerstown. I'm sure you all agree with me. I'm from just 30 minutes down the road here in Frederick, Maryland, one of the places that the convoy rolls through heading down to the Capitol Beltway. And yeah, I'm just here to tell you a couple stories It seems like everybody likes to say, all of our opponents like to say, well, what are you guys doing? What are you protesting? There's nothing to protest. Go home, and I look at that, and it doesn't speak the truth of what's going on. They like to act like, oh yeah, everything's over, but they don't talk about how we still have the national emergency, which is the biggest thing going on here right now that we're trying to put an end to. But they don't talk about everyday people who still face these mandates and are left with no choice whether to be expelled, fired from work, or else if they don't follow these mandates and bow down to the government. So I'll tell you a story. I am graduating. I'm walking across the stage at the University of Maryland tomorrow night with my degree in business management. But I was this close to not having that
She
happen.
wanted to be back, so
Awesome.
here we are.
I graduated from high school in 2017. Went to Frederick College for 3 years. Got my associates. That's the cheap way to do it. That's the way that is fiscally conservative. I don't want you guys paying for my college degree. It's something that I take on myself, and I'm taking that loan out. I need to pay it back myself. It's not your obligation to do so. So I started out at community college, but I go to transfer to the University of Maryland to finish my degree, and it's fall of 2020, and I get hit with the ultimatum: you need to be vaccinated or you cannot attend our campus. And the craziest thing is, everything was completely online at the time. There was no reason to come to campus, but they still wanted to tell you, oh, well, to attend our school, you need to be vaccinated, but nothing's in person anyway. So, how do you come to that conclusion? So we get around, I slide through, I never get vaccinated, and I slide through that first year of online school. But here we come, they're opening the campus back up this fall, right? So this past fall 2021. And I'm again hit with the ultimatum: you need to be vaccinated or you cannot attend our college. Luckily, University of Maryland was one of the places that were approving religious exemptions. But I got my religious exemption, but it was not easy. They did everything they could to make it difficult, make it burdensome to get this religious exemption. So here I am sitting. It's 3 days before campus opens, before classes start. It's late August. They have still not responded to the religious exemption that I put in 2 months earlier. It's been 2 months. They've got a whole department that's working on these religious and medical exemptions. It's been 2 months. They still have not gotten back to me. I give them a call. Oh, you just have to wait. They'll get to you soon. But if your exemption isn't approved, you can't come to campus. So I'm sitting there 3 days before campus opens, and I'm being told I can't come to campus. Eventually, they did approve that exemption, but it doesn't stop there.
Not bad.
We had a 98.9% vaccination rate on campus, but they still required the unvaccinated students, myself, some of the unvaccinated staff members, to get tested twice a week. But they didn't have that requirement for the unvaccinated students. The unvaccinated population could do whatever they wanted, to go to whatever parties they wanted. Nothing happened. But if you were unvaccinated, you were forced to be tested 2 times a week. So we keep on going. We're going on down. I'm not getting these tests. I tell you, I did not get these tests. And I got a conduct, thank you. I got a conduct referral. Office of Student Conduct sent me an email that said you are facing suspension or expulsion for not getting tested. And still, I'm sitting here. Okay, you're not testing the unvaccinated. You're testing the unvaccinated. You're not testing the vaccinated. Where do I become a second-class citizen because I refuse to take a jab?
Right.
Why do I have a secondary set of consequences because I refuse to take this vaccine that isn't working, by the way? So we get on down the line. We're here in the spring semester, and they finally drop the testing requirement. But the whole time in these testing offices, they had signs that said, and they know that the people getting tested had religious and medical exemptions, but they still had the signs up. Contact the school health department for your vaccination today. It's still thrown in our faces, even though we have religious and medical exemptions. But I'm here to tell you that I made it through that. I'm going to be walking the stage tomorrow, but we still have a mask mandate. The University of Maryland has a KN95 mask requirement in classes and in transportation at all times. We're 2.5 years past this thing. It's time for that to stop. So when I hear people that say, oh, these truckers, they're just selfish. There's nothing that they're doing. They're not protesting anything. They're protesting mandates that have been dropped years ago. I'll tell you, there are kids there like me. There are kids at the Air Force Academy. I don't know if you guys heard this. It came out a week ago. 4 cadets at the Air Force Academy in Colorado that were told they will not be able to graduate this week because they are not vaccinated. And anybody who's went to any of our service academies, you know that you go there to become a commissioned officer. If you don't graduate, you're not a commissioned officer. Everything that you put forth for the last 4 years does not come to fruition. And they're telling these 4 brave Air Force cadets that they are not allowed to become a commissioned officer and they are not allowed to receive their degree just because of their personal choice to not take the jab. So like I said, when it comes to that, there are still mandates to be fought. There are still people suffering. There are people losing their jobs. There are people being turned away from their college graduation that they've worked for 4+ years now. So don't let anybody tell you that, oh, the mandates are gone. There's nothing left to fight for. There are plenty of people left to fight for. And again, my name's Justin Wages. I'm a candidate here in Frederick County, just one county over, for Maryland State Delegate. One of the youngest candidates in the field across the state, hoping to get down there to Annapolis and, stand up against the mandates, stand up for our veterans, stand up for our hard-working individuals like the truckers that are right around the corner, I'm guessing. And we got some back here. And it's just unbelievable when you look at it and you see all these people who don't see what's really going on in our country. And I'm glad to be here with all of you today and speak with you about that. And you can find me, I've got a whole bunch of cards here. You can find me online at wagesfordelegate.com, and I'd love to talk with you if anybody'd like to speak with me individually. But thank you again, and I'm so glad to be out here, and enjoy your stay in Hagerstown.
Thank you, Justin. I'm going to bring up these next 2 folks here. Their story is not one that's too unfamiliar to a lot of people watching this live stream, listening to my voice. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. It's a great pleasure to have you guys on the stage. I can give you another microphone.
Thank you so much for allowing us and giving us the honor to be able to share this. Sorry about that. Thank you again. And Patriots, I want to thank each and every one of you for being in this fight for our freedom. We were here the first time with you. We're so excited that they allowed us to come back into this space. And we were not able to drive with you across California, but thank you to the owners and whoever is making the decisions to allow us with this space. But we do appreciate you, and we appreciate everyone around the country that is fighting in prayer or any other way that God places on their heart. Thank you for fighting with us, and please continue because the prayers are especially needed. And we wanted to, this is Fidel, I'm Tracy Castellanos. And our story is about medical tyranny. When this pandemic started, and we started seeing what was happening in January of 2020, we knew something was very wrong. We could sense it, and we knew that we needed to find out what was really happening. When the lockdowns occurred in March of 2020, my father had just been placed in a home, a retirement home. Within 1 month, he was dead. It was not called the plague, but, and I'm using my words very carefully, but I do believe that it would not have happened if there had not been a lockdown. It was very unfortunate. Many elderly people died in April of 2020 across the world, especially in Canada. So when that happened, we wanted some answers on what was really happening, so we started looking. And God led us to the right people, the right channels, the right patriots, and we found out what was going on. So Fidel and I started working very hard to take certain protocols and certain therapeutics that we knew would protect us from possibly what would come if we were to become ill. In fact, we didn't think we would become ill, and in October of last year, we did become ill. So we continued to take everything we knew to take, and Fidel got increasingly sicker while I was getting over it. So we hired a non-Western thinking doctor to come to the house to tend to Fidel. And unfortunately, on October 31st, he ended up in a hospital, which in hindsight, we see God's providence even in all of that. From square one, we had to call out this hospital that we had rights, and we carefully spoke what we wanted and what we did not want during his stay. It got very, very apparent that we were in a life and death fight. And I'm going to allow Fidel now to tell you the story as he was put in the hospital.
Thank you very much. I want to say, first of all, good evening, we the people. We the people have the right to speak out. We have First Amendment rights, and those are being taken away from us. And we have a lot of other rights that they're attempting to take away from us. And it's good that we gather and share, because they're trying to take that away too. And I just want to mention that also that as Tracy has alluded to, God took us through this whole situation. We didn't even know what was going to happen. We didn't know how it was going to come about. We had no idea it was even happening at the moment that it was happening. But he caused us to come in line with different people, different groups, different organizations, learn what we had to learn, get educated, get smart, because we needed to. And even as I was being transported to the hospital, I told her that I was okay with what was going down, because for some reason I knew God was going to take us through this, and there was a purpose for it. And later we found out what it was, and later we saw God's hand at work every step of the way. And things that happened, and things that were kept from happening with us, we found out later on why they didn't happen, and so kept us from going down the wrong rabbit trail. And I had to step into the transport to go to some place I did not want to go. I knew I didn't want to go to the hospital, but at the point I was too sick, and it couldn't go on me staying at home. So I was basically in the fishbowl. Everyone else was outside the fishbowl, so I could see it firsthand. I could sense it, I could realize it, I could wrap my mind around what was going on, and I could see for myself on a first-hand basis the actions that were taking place. Despite being in a mental fog because of the illness, the good Lord kept me aware enough so that I could start conversing with the medical staff and everyone who was representing the medical facility, and which we choose not to name names, and we won't talk about the actual names of the drugs, and we'll just refer to them, and we won't even talk about the C word. It's got to be kept all germane, but everyone knows, you've heard it before, and you understand what we're going to talk about and what we're going to put forward. This is a very foreshortened version of it, and we're taking 4 minutes or so. We're going to try and keep it very, very condensed. If you want the full explanation, as she said, go on the Rumble channel.
Up front in the prophetic in December, it's called "They Tried to Kill Him," and there is over an hour explanation of everything, and you will hear everything. It's an entirety that we cannot say here, but it will help you and family members if they are ever in this position.
So right from the get-go, I was in the ICU, and I realized something wasn't right. As they were taking X-rays and drawing blood, and they started really pushing hard for me to accept a protocol that didn't make sense, and to apply procedures that I clearly could not go with, and they put on the pressure big time. From the very first encounter with the very first doctor, I want to say that the the caregivers, the nurses, and the aides and stuff like that, they were marvelous. They really were. It's the other people, the doctors and the administrators. Those are the ones that you got to watch out for. Because they wanted me to take medications, and we were already aware of these medications, and we understood what they did to us. So there was no way I was gonna sign up for that. And the more I pushed back, the more contested it got. But I realized there were 4 other faces in the room as I was going back and forth with the emergency room doctor, and I had to stand my ground. So they, finally she gave in, and she admitted me and let me go on without the treatments that they wanted to do for me, but treating the symptoms of pneumonia, because I was in pneumonia at that point. So we were going to go and go forward as far as I was sick with pneumonia and go from there. And I'm sure they knew that there were other opportunities that they were going to sneak in and try and persuade me or threaten me or make me afraid. And so as we went through all this, I was getting put into a regular hospital room on the COVID ward, and they were going through all that. And my first recognition and validation was the emergency room nurse, as everyone was clearing out, she leaned into me very close and she said, "You're doing the right thing. You're standing up for your rights. You're standing up for what's good for you, and you need to maintain that. You need to keep going with that idea. But you're doing really good right now. Just keep doing what you're doing." So, you get spoken to that way in the way that she did it, and a little light goes on in your head, and you go, oh, this is totally different from my previous experience. Because I had trust in the medical community, but I had suspicions because of what we learned. And a lot of people go in there fully trusting the doctors and everybody that converse with them. And they say, "Oh yeah, sure, doc, you know the right thing, you know best," and they just go along with it, and it's horrible, and they know it. And later on, Tracy will kind of give you a little insight into the conversation she had with the head nurse. But I was in there, and I knew I was in a fight for my life, because every chance they got, I had somebody else in my face telling me, "You're gonna die. If you don't do this, you're not gonna survive. We need to know that you give us an okay to put you on the vent if we have to." And I asked more questions because they weren't disclosing anything, nothing. You're supposed to be given a disclosure of what the remedies are going to be, how they were going to go about it, what the side effects were, and what the consequences were, so you can make an informed decision. They don't do that anymore. So you're left on your own devices to make a decision based upon nothing more than what they say, nothing more than what they tell you, and it's like it's pretty soon it became like listening to the mainstream media. Whatever they said, it was completely opposite. That's the way it was coming down, and that's the way I understood it very quickly. I also understood very quickly that they every single technician, physician, doctor, anybody who's coming in, they had their own spiel. And when you know a sales pitch, it comes across regardless of who the person's saying it is. And that's what it was. It was a sales pitch to get me to sign up with them. The protocol to go on the ventilator, I hope I didn't say that wrong, but it was basically a 2-step process. I wanted to know, well, what's the decision tree that you go through to make that decision and have me go down that path? And they said, well, if we think you're getting worse, you're going to the ventilator. And that was it. That was, and I realized just what a serious consequence that was. So that was my big struggle, was to stay away from that. And okay, so they put me on different medications, steroids and things, to combat the inflammation and the pneumonia, and they started with some supplements. It was completely inadequate, the supplements. They weren't worried about nutrition, really. I'm a diabetic, and they were trying to push on me cookies and milk for my snack in the evening. if anybody knows about, about diabetics, you can't have that kind of stuff. You can't have all the things that they were trying to get me to take, which would have weakened me, and they knew that. And so I negotiated with them. At least I got vegetables and fruit, basically fruit to snack on, which was okay. But meanwhile, my sugar was getting pushed to the moon because of the steroids. So I had to be aware of what I really needed and what I could say no to. Okay, so I got through all that. They gave me a medication that I didn't even realize I was being given. And when we figured that out, we changed it around. We dropped that one. We got another one added on. We finally started convincing the head doctor that we could do this. We could go that route. And through God's grace, and kind of pulling the wool over their eyes too. They were doing it to me, so I did it back. They didn't know I had medication either. And we got it in there. And they gave us permission to do it. They didn't realize they were doing it. They said, whatever you're taking it home. Okay, thanks, Doc. That really saved me a lot. And then I, it was just really high dosages that we went to. So let me give it back to Tracy, and she'll tell you this conversation.
So please go watch the real story, the rest of the story on Rumble up front in the prophetic. They tried to kill him, and you will hear what the head nurse had to say to me, and it will show you that these nurses need lots of prayer. Please keep praying for the nurses. They are trying to fight, and some of them are losing the battle and getting canned, basically, because they said they were trying to get rid of all of them. So we thank you so much for your time. We appreciate all of you, and keep praying for our country, and keep praying for all these patriots and all the others fighting around the world.
Thank you, guys. Listen, I used to ride around on the ambulance. As a volunteer fireman, when you have a patient in the back of the buggy, you want to have that patient advocate. Where did that patient advocate go during this time frame that we're at? Why haven't we all raised our arms up and got mad about this and fought at the county and the state level? That's what this is about. This is a national cause, but the fight is at the state. This stuff needs to end. Not only did they come after our loved ones that were our partners, they came after our kids. They came after them in a horrible way. We were all given the opportunity to watch what happened because of where they were at. They were home with us. I want to bring a friend of mine up. Her husband, Big George, helped me in the kitchen tremendously when you all first came in the very first time. If you guys like the spaghetti, give it up for Big George. Heck yeah. All right, I'm going to let April have the stage here. Let her do her thing. Thank you, April, for coming.
Oh, thank you for having me. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
My name is April Montgomery. I'm also from Frederick County. I am running for Board of Education. Thank you, thank you. I have 3 children of my own, and I'll be honest with you, standing up the way that the truckers are, the way that everybody else here is doing, the way that anybody at home is doing just by watching, by tuning in, by donating to the convoy. The things that these people are doing is giving hope. They're giving hope and they're spreading knowledge. There's 2 reasons we do that. We give hope because we can, and we give hope for those that can't. And one of the largest groups of people that cannot stand up for themselves are our children. The curriculum that's being added into our schools right now across Maryland that's coming down from the state is purely to take our kids, turn them into activists, and turn them against their families. I sat and watched my seventh grader, my 12-year-old daughter, cringing at her computer during quarantine. I didn't know what she was listening to. She had her headphones on during virtual learning. And I said, "Hey, are you okay?" She was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." I was like, "Take your headphones off." And what I heard coming out of that speaker in 2021, I could not believe the content and the mature language and the inappropriate topics that they were teaching my 12-year-old daughter. From that moment on, I knew I had to do something. I'm a previous educator. I worked with special needs children, and I had a kindergarten enrichment class. I loved my littles. So I talked to my husband, and he said, you know, my husband is a big old patriot, and I say that in many ways because he's 6'7", but he's also gung-ho about America, our children, and God. And he found God during quarantine. So if there's anything to thank for this mess, it's that my husband was brought to Jesus, and we are very grateful for that. But he looked at me and he said, you know what? It's school board. This is all you, baby. I am not a public speaker. I am not a brave soul. I like being in the classroom with my 5-year-olds or with my own children at home. But I knew I had to stand up and do something just like the rest of you are doing. Please continue to stand up for those that can't do it for themselves, for the veterans, for our elderly community, for our injured people, for people that are sick, for people that have lost their lives, their loved ones are alone now. They need our help. The mandates, the curriculum, the things they're doing to our babies, and the things they're doing to us are not okay. And neither is sitting down on your couch if you have the ability, as an American citizen who truly loves freedom, which we all do, get up and do something. Thank you all very much for having me here. I appreciate you all and everything that you're doing.
Thank you, April. Our next speaker, she says she gets vertigo. I stand up on these trailers. I'm a flatbed driver myself. I stand up on these trailers all the time, so I'm good with it. I'm going to pass this microphone off to Robin. She's going to explain the voter integrity piece.
What are you doing tonight here, the People's Convoy? Well, I look at truckers kind of like the last cowboys, don't you guys think? You know, you're on the road, you're living free, and basically people like yourself and Mike Lindell at My Pillow are going to save America. As Jeremiah said, my name's Robin Sachs, and I was called to work on our fraudulent elections. So how many people here have seen 2,000 Mules? Okay, well, not too many people yet. I would highly recommend, guys, that you watch 2,000.
My next guest speaker, he's running for right here, Congressional Seat 6. You're running against a couple people that you debated last night. Yep. We're not going to talk about any more politics. This is my last political speaker. I want this gentleman to come up here and tell me what he's going to do when he goes to Washington.
Absolutely, really appreciate it. My name is Jonathan Jenkins, and yes, I'm running for Congress because yes, you need somebody else to hate, but no personally, right? Congress right now is an 11% rating, right at cockroach level, so I'm trying to get a little bit above there. But very serious, I'm not a politician. I'm just another gunny, just a dumb Marine that is very fed up, another pissed off dad about what happened here. And this is not the America I grew up in. It is not the America that my little kids in. My little Gabriel's 8, my Kristen is 10. They have not really witnessed America with the wokeism, with the jobs. It's amazing how much education they lost. I kept them in private school, but guess what? We also got booted out of there. We have a lot of the teachers in there that were told they had to get frequently tested, had to get the jab. That's inappropriate. So I'm up here tonight. Yes, I'm running for Congress. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, or Independent. That's not why I'm here. Again, what we need to do is solve the problems. I have been blessed with a lot of things over time to be the best candidate because I understand the external threat. Being a Marine, being an Iraq war veteran, understanding cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, machine learning to go after Russia, bad actors, China, and all that. But guess what? I've also been blessed accidentally for what we're facing right now. I have consulted almost half of the federal agencies, which includes Health and Human Services, Centers for Medicaid and Medicare, and guess what? One of our favorites, I wish it was CDC, NIH, several institutes within the NIH. I understand the culture in there. I've helped develop systems in there. I had to talk to leadership and stakeholders in there. There's a lot of work that can be done. So by me having an understanding, I can immediately step in and start having clean bills. Some of the things I want to do immediately is understanding why verbiage changed. So I'm going to be using my background of artificial intelligence, specifically text analytics, to look at all the verbiage that has changed on the websites throughout all the federal governments, but especially CDC and NIH. Why would you change the definition of virus 3 times? That makes 0 sense, right? It's insane. They are hiding from us, and there's ways to go about this. There's technology out there they call Wayback Machines. We can actually look at what those websites looked at over time. So we need to go back. Why did you change this information? Who changed the information? Who told you to change information? We got to chase these people out of here. The other thing we need forensic accounting. We need forensic accounting because NIH themselves even admitted the other day, $350 million worth of payments coming in from China, coming in where? People that work at the NIH. How can that be? Amazing. If NIH is already ratting themselves out, what does that tell you? Right? Do you think it stops at 350 million? Do you think it stops at $1 billion? No, it does not. I don't know what that number is. Now I'm a Marine, so can't count so many zeros, right? How do we used to count? 1, 2, 3, another. But I do know there's a lot of zeros out there. There is extreme corruption. I'm not saying this for publicity, but we got to get rid of Fauci. And I want to look for him for criminal charges. He is the modern day Mengele. Lock him up. Lock her up too, right? Lock them all up, baby! But seriously, him and other people, they know what's going on. What did he do for AIDS? He ran away from the whole AIDS thing, right? He didn't want to make it a culture issue, and he allowed it to progress. He allowed this go on. Masks didn't work until masks work. Just insane what's happening here. So all I can tell you is, I know what I'm doing. I have the technical background. I'm unwavering, unapologetic. I know what to do. I know what the laws are. I don't care who's in the president's office or not. I don't care if we have leadership on the Republican side or Democratic side. Clean bills, go after these people. And the other thing, the last thing I want to talk about is correcting what happened here. So many people got jobs. What is the long-term ramifications? Right? We got the little boys with heart palpitations. What about the women that may start having problems not being able to give birth later on? That is insane. There's going to be a lot of bad juju coming out here, and we need to allow everybody that had the jab, whether it was forced or not, to say, you know what? I had Johnson & Johnson, I had Pfizer, whatever it is. Get on a list. Let's get the data. Can we track you? It's up to you, okay? But I think people should allow themselves to be tracked. If you start having issues later on, These companies that literally made, it's going to be trillions of dollars, right? $17.5 trillion. $17.5 trillion for all this medical stuff in less than 3 years. Iraq and Afghanistan, 6.5 in 20 years. So look at all the money these people are making here. That money probably can't completely, but we got to do something about it. Stay strong. Don't care, be unwavering and unapologetic. I absolutely appreciate everybody being here. I heard somebody was talking today, $1,800 every time they fill up. Absolutely insane. We got to fix that, okay? If you have a friend here, please meet me afterwards. And for the children, please take these signs. The children have to learn now. No mandates, no inflation, no giving in to this stuff. No giving in. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jonathan. I'm going to bring up a friend of mine, Rusty All Day. I'll give him a couple of seconds here to say a few things. Thank you again for all the coffee that you made for all these truck drivers.
Thank you, Jeremiah. Jeremiah called me up and asked if I could say a few words, and I probably got about 4 or 5 hours. He had said he'd give me 4 minutes last night. I got to get it into 1 minute right now. So you might remember me and our group from the Maryland Salt and Light Brigade back when the convoy started. We got 2 days notice. We got prepped up for supplies for 1,500 cups. We thought that would be sufficient. We were here pretty much for 3 straight weeks, from 6:30, 6 o'clock a.m. till sometimes midnight. We stopped counting at 10,000 cups. So all that coffee was donated. We put the word out to the community. The community really supported us. 70, 80 some containers, 70 or 80 containers of Folgers coffee, thousands of cups. It kept pouring in. I'm thinking, this is way too much coffee. I think we had 3 or 4 left when we got done. So we had just enough, and I can't mention all the names, but you guys might recognize this. This was from the front of our stand. I brought it along. Got a little bit of wear and tear on it, but you got dust, dirt, coffee, snot, and everything on there from about 3 straight weeks. And we're not a coffee organization. That's not what we do. We're a boots on the ground organization to wake up our country, wake up the local politicians, wake up, get into the spiritual battle. We've got a monthly meeting just about every month. If you'd like to get in the game, I'll be milling around here. I can give you a little flyer of when our meetings are and give you some more details. But we're all over the place. You know, we've been in New Orleans, New York, Aberdeen, Maryland, Louisiana. We're a pretty small organization, but we're out there fighting for our rights and fighting for the man upstairs, Jesus Christ.
Thank you, Rusty. This next gentleman goes without an introduction from me. I just met him for the first time tonight. You had to forgive me for that. I'm going to give you the floor here, sir.
I didn't know I was going to come up here and say anything. So I didn't put my pretty headband down, so a lot of you might not recognize me. And I didn't brush my hair. I'll say something. I'm definitely not a political speaker or professional speaker, but something that happens to me just about every meeting or thing like this is I ended up sitting in an area where other people are talking constantly, so I don't get to hear the speaker quite often. And that happened tonight. I sat down over there and some other men sat and talked right in front of me the whole time I was trying to listen. I don't remember that very much good either, the mic. Is that better? I said the other night I was a full-fledged alcoholic at 14. At 25, I finally was able to get help and quit drinking. And so I haven't drank for over 50 years now. Sometimes I think the alcoholism, because drugs didn't interest me. I was so hooked on the alcohol. I tried marijuana and preferred the alcohol. But anyway, I I had a pretty healthy life. At 13 years old, I met what turned out to be my best friend, and spent a lot of time in his house. And he had a 10-year-old sister that we became friends and did things and stuff, played together as little kids. And that 10-year-old sister of his turned out to be my wife. And we've been married 59 years now. I talked to my daughter yesterday. My wife lives in a home. She has dementia, and she lives in a home for those people. And she hasn't really recognized me or even known my name for about 2.5 years now or so. And my daughter told me yesterday that she brought her iPod out to her mother and my wife and showed her me talking on one of the platforms the other night. And she said that my wife pointed her finger at me and said, Bryant. That's had me thinking today about maybe going home, but I need to check with her because I also know that that doesn't mean it's going to be the same 5 minutes later. But I am considering going home, and so I'd like to tell everybody who has told me or remarked about my testimony and encouraging them, thank you very much. In case I do go home and don't speak anymore, I love each and every one of you. I had last year at 78 years old, I was still working full time and loved doing it. I think it was about March or April, my truck broke down. I had to put it in the shop. They told me it'd be about 5 weeks before they could get the parts in. During that time, I went home. For a couple of years before that, I knew that I was slowing down, but I just, what happens to old people when they still work. But I kept getting worse and worse. And finally one day I had, one night I fell down in the bathroom and I laid on the floor for 10 hours before I was able to get up. And then that day I felt twice more. My wife, or not my wife, my daughter came over that night, and when I told her, she called 911, and they brought me to the hospital, and I was there 12 days doing all kinds of testing on my heart. And they said they found there was 3 things wrong with my heart, and they would have to do 3 surgeries. They convinced me and my daughter, our whole family has always been against the vaccine, like most of you people. They convinced me and my daughter that it'd be good for me to get the vaccine, and we thought it might be because we knew we'd be in and out of the hospital a lot. So I got the 2 vaccine shots. Neither one of them really made me sick or caused any action. But then they found that there was a major problem with my lungs, and they wouldn't be able to do the surgeries on my heart. And they ended up sending me home quite a bit worse than what I went in. I wasn't satisfied with the medical community and what they had been trying to do. I went on to hospice, and they ended up having to do just about everything for me. They'd come over to my house and bathe me and take care of me and my 2 children. Both of them are old folks now, so they've been fantastic watching for me. And during this time, I got to a point where I wanted to die, and that was pretty much all I could think of most of the time, was just wanting to die. Every night when I'd fall asleep, I'd say, God, I don't want to wake up in the morning. I want to be dead tomorrow. When people want to pray for me, or talk about me getting better. I said, no, I don't want to get better. I want to die. And I would tell people that there's only one thing, one reason that I would want to live. And that was if I could go out into my driveway and get up into my truck and drive around the country. And here I am. That happened. On Christmas Day last year, I had been feeling somewhat better for a few days. My daughter asked me if I'd like to ride up to Branson, Missouri, and see a show that I used to pretty much enjoy. So we went up there, and the following day we went to the show. Fine. I was walking good with my walker. I got into the show, and the usher helped me to get to my seat. And I turned around and I told my daughter I felt like I was going to faint. And immediately she said, no hesitation at all. I went down, and she said she knew right away that I was dead. And she got me into the seat and couldn't find any heartbeat or anything. And looked around for help, and we were pretty early so that I could get to a seat good. And finally somebody called 911, and they came and they told my daughter that I was gone. And they brought me outside on a stretcher and decided to try this heart thing they do. They did it, I don't know how many times, but what they would normally do to a person, and it didn't work. And as they were starting to remove the equipment from me, one of them said, I think we should do it one more time. And that time brought me back to life. They brought me to the hospital, and I guess it was a couple hours later, my heart quit again. I died again. And the same thing happened. They gave up on reviving me and then decided to try it one more time, and it worked. When I came out of it, and I let him know with no uncertain terms that I was pretty mad. I had been wanting to die, and I did die, and they brought me back. And he told me that we had two options, and it would be my choice, that he could check me back into the hospital, and I'd have to go through all that heart exam stuff again, or he could release me to go home. And in either case, he was sure I'd be dead within 3 days. And so I went home and kind of looking forward to the 3 days going by and me dying. And my son hooked up my TV to watch YouTube, which I didn't know how to do or anything. And I ended up watching People's Convoy on YouTube, and that was the only thing I watched 24/7 from then on. And I gradually started feeling better and improving. And eventually one day, the supervisor that was seeing me in hospice came over to the house and said, Brian, if you're not going to die, we're going to have to release you. And she said, you've got my phone number. If you change your mind and want to try again, give me a call. And that was on good terms. We were friends and got along great. But anyway, I just gradually kept being encouraged by watching the People's Convoy. And I happened to be able to catch him on the first day in Adelanto, California. And seeing all the overpasses and seeing all the groups in the convoy, the people, it gave me encouragement. I got to the point where I realized there were a lot of good people out here. I had never been one that wanted friends or had friends or more than a couple at a time. And seeing all the different nationalities and religions and believers and non-believers, everybody just joining together and getting along and caring about each other and loving each other, doing things for each other. And then people from other states bringing food down and cooking meals for them and visiting with them. And that gave me encouragement. I started feeling better and better. One night, I had really gotten to where I felt like I wanted to drive. My children weren't wanting me to drive all this time last year, and I kind of went along with them. But Mike, one night here, it was right here, I guess, announced that they were going to go back out to California. And I told my kids, I said, boy, I would love to be able to do that. And he talked about it again, and said they helped with fuel. And I had already seen it provide most food. And I told the kids, go fix my truck up to travel because I'm going to California with them. What I told them was that I wanted to go to California, to LA and Sacramento, and then travel back to Washington with them. And that's where my thoughts kind of ended. I had no future plans. I hoped that it would continue going on and I could continue being a part of it. So the last few days I've really been wondering what I should do. I'm hoping that maybe tonight we'll get some information about the future or what the plans are in Washington. But I feel as though I've made my commitment by being here, my commitment to myself. And so right now I'm really a little bit uncertain. I would like to stay and continue on. I would hope that they continue to travel, maybe to the different states and help with rallies and programs and stuff, but that'll be seen. For my wife, I'd love to go see her, but at the same time, I feel like anything that happens with her is a 1 or 2 minute deal. She may have recognized me a couple days ago, but by now wouldn't know who I was. So there's really not a lot of sense in going back if I can stay here. My whole life has changed from someone who didn't care about people to someone now loves people. I thought that going from home to Texas to join the convoy was probably the one more thing that God had for me to do, and be another truck and another driver, and I just thought that would be it because I wasn't used to talking or dealing with people and everything. And I shared my little bit of my life's history with the driver that first night there, and the next day, next afternoon, people were coming up and asking me questions and about hospice, being with hospice, dying and stuff. And I said, what in the world's going on? They said that you've been made the main subject on the CV just about all day. And now just about all of the streamers that travel with us tell me about every day that their people are asking how I am and where I am and what I'm doing. And every time we stop somewhere and I get out of the truck, there's people coming to visit with me and share and tell me how it's influenced them. And I finally came to the position that, yes, God is using something bigger than I could have done by myself. That together, God might have a story to share. And I pray and I hope that I can continue on doing that. But that, like I say, remains to be seen right now. And I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
I gotta tell you, Brian, I saw you out there in California. One of my minutes is, one of my memories is watching you guys drive out there in California. I'm glad to have you back in Maryland, sir. Look forward to seeing you down on the streets again soon. My next speaker, it's not mine, it's you all's. It's People's Convoy. He goes without anything that I could ever say that you guys don't already know. Trucker G.
How you doing, guys? Oh, heck, you can do better than that, can't you? I tell you what, it's good to be here in my second home, Hagerstown, Maryland. I've kind of adopted you guys. You guys kind of adopted me. At least I hope so. Maybe not after what I say. Y'all know me. I'm pretty blunt, and I just tell it like it is, according to me.
That's why we care.
And, you know, when we started off in California, I had a gentleman come up to me and tell me, gee, you know what you guys really need is you guys need a slogan. You know, that's what all these good politicians have. They have a slogan. I don't think we need a slogan. I don't think we need any more politicians, to be honest with you. What we need is people that serve the people.
There you go.
Politicians. That's the problem in this country, is they work for themselves and not for us. And I'm tired of it. I don't know about you. Yeah, there's another slogan right there. They work for us. How about they do their damn job? Excuse my language, it's just the way it is. And I'm looking around. There should be hundreds of thousands of trucks in here. Hundreds of thousands of trucks, because I know every truck driver out there has got a gripe. They want to gripe about fuel prices. Look at the way the fuel prices are right now. They're trying to drive us out of business. They're trying to drive us out of business. They're trying to starve the American public. And there ain't that many people here. I mean, look, we got a crowd here, yeah. But this should be the whole state. The whole state of Maryland should be here. The whole country should be here. We should all be outraged. At least that's the way I see it, like I said. I'm just blunt and I tell it like it is, according to me. You know, when we were here last time, we had quite a few trucks. Not enough, but quite a few trucks. Them trucks went around the circle and, you know, and when we left here, I don't know if you all see the news article, but old Joe Biden had 2 trucks sitting at the White House, but he wouldn't let us come into Washington, D.C. Wouldn't let the actual truckers come into Washington, D.C. Do you know what 2 trucks he had there? It was the ATA's trucks. And I don't know if all you guys know who the ATA is. It's American Trucking Association. They do not represent the truck drivers. They represent the mega fleets. The mega fleets, the corporations. They're lobbyists. That's what they are. You know, back in 2020, a group of truck drivers went down there, 150 or so truck drivers spent 21 days right there in Constitution Avenue. Mr. Trump is up there telling his speech, and trucks are blowing their horns, just dying for a word with the man. He sent his flunkies out there and gave them chocolates, gave them hats, placated them. And while he was telling his speech, he said, "Oh, you hear them horns out there?" No, they wanted to talk to you. I'm tired of the left. I'm tired of the right. I'm tired of politicians. It's about time we stood together as Americans, because they're placating us all, and we're just standing there watching it happen. You know, we do have good servants to the people out there that's working in politics. I don't like to call them politicians. I'll bring Mike Muna, for instance. He wrote a bill about autonomous trucks. Yeah, they're fixing to put autonomous trucks out here on the road. They're already on the roads with you guys. I'm sure you've seen some of the articles. And they're not ready to be out here on the roads with you guys. They're not ready to be on the roads with your children. They're dangerous. As long as something can be hacked, it's dangerous. He wrote a bill saying that there has to be a person in that truck as a fail-safe. A human being. Well, they come up with a fail-safe, all right. Their fail-safe was the truck's just going to pull over to the side of the road by itself if a sensor goes out. Well, what if the sensor goes out saying that it needs to pull off to the side of the road? Well, I'm sure they'll be working on that now that they hear that excuse. But they're allowing this stuff to happen. Why? Because it's big money. The FMCSA, the head of the FMCSA at the time, guess where he works? For one of those autonomous trucking companies. I wasn't going to talk about trucking issues because this isn't a trucking issue here. This is American people. But without trucks, the American people starve. You know, I heard back in 2020 when all this started that we love our truckers. You guys love your truckers? Yeah, I keep hearing that. Well, do you know how many truckers were ready to turn the keys down, turn the key to the left during the pandemic? Not one of them, because they knew the shelves were bare. They knew there wasn't no toilet paper on the shelves. Truck drivers, but guess what? It was costing them money to haul the loads, to put that toilet paper on the shelves, and that's why they were down on Constitution Avenue, because they were asking for help, because they were trying to help all you guys. They were tired of being, I'm trying to look for a better word than this, tired of being screwed. Excuse me, I'm sorry, kids. You know, when we need our politicians, we should be able to go to them with a concern. You know, all of us just want to go to work. We just want to be able to feed our families. That's all we want. We want to live a good life. We don't want to have to deal with politics. I don't want to have to deal with politics. I don't want to be here right now. Do you? Like I said, when I come up here, more than likely it wasn't going to be popular, but I don't care about popularity. I'm tired of lip service from politicians. Tired of it. How about you guys? Yeah, I wonder how many the rest of the Americans are tired of it. They're not here. Yeah, you're probably right. I just don't know what to say. I mean, I don't have the words. Like I said, I'm not a speaker. I'm not a great speaker. You know, these guys get up here, and I don't mean to hear, but the guys get up on stage and around in front of cameras and stuff, and they could come up with that great slogan. They got people all hyped up, and the crowd's all yelling and screaming. It's a sugar high is what it is. It gets you all hyped up. I want meat and potatoes is what I want. I want you to say what you mean and mean what you say. Words. Shake my hand and kiss my babies. Do what you say. Represent us. Exactly. You know, I don't hear a lot of clapping because I'm sure a lot of you guys are thinking, you know what? Who the heck is this guy? I'm a fed up American is who I am. I'm not an educated man, so I'm not going to pretend like I know exactly everything that goes down there in D.C. But what I do know is when I'm being hustled, and we're all being hustled. We have been for decades. You can't hustle a hustler. I've seen it all. Tired of the little people getting screwed over, excuse me. I'll just say it. I'll just say it. You know, like I was talking about Mike Moon, I kind of got sidetracked. You want to know what happened to that bill? That bill got thrown on the floor. Nobody wanted to hear that bill. Why? Because it didn't mean money in their pockets. That's why they didn't want to hear the bill. And I'm not trying to get Mike in trouble, but I'm going to tell you what he told me. He said, "G, ain't nobody going to listen to that bill until their family is killed by one of them trucks." Doesn't matter whether one of our families killed by one of them trucks. It's when their family is killed by that truck. It's when they're going to finally listen. Because there's big money in it. You know, Mike Moon is a Republican. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Who knows? He's being ousted by his own party. Bib overalls to a meeting. He had a jacket on and a tie. That's all the rules said is he had to have a jacket and a tie. But the man wore bib overalls, and now the party don't want to back it. Is that right? No, it's not right. Suit don't make a person. Tie don't make a person. They're hurt. That's what makes a person. Doing what you say and saying what you mean makes the person. Just my two thoughts. I know a lot of you guys heard me say a poem, and honey, we bring that up. I promised everybody I'm going to say that poem from now till the day I die, and I'd just like to read it to you. It's called "The Visitor from the Past" by Thelen Pope. I didn't know who the author was when I first read it, but I've done found out, so I'd like to give her credit. I had a dream the other night. I didn't understand. A figure walking through the mist with a flintlock in his hand. His clothes were torn and dirty as he stood there by my bed. He took off his three-cornered hat, and speaking low, he said, "We fought a revolution to secure our liberty. We wrote the Constitution as a shield from tyranny. For future generations, this legacy we gave. In this, the land of the free and home of the brave. The freedom we secured for you, we hope you'd always keep. But tyrants labored endlessly while your parents were asleep. Your freedom gone, your courage lost, you're no more than a slave. In this, the land of the free and home of the brave. You buy permits to travel and permits to own a gun, permits to start a business, or to build a place for one. On land you believe you own, you pay a yearly rent, although you have no voice in choosing how the money's spent. Your children must attend a school that doesn't educate. Your Christian values can't be taught, according to the state. You read the Constitution, or you read about the current news in a regulated press. You pay a tax you do not owe to please the IRS. Your money is no longer made of silver or of gold. You trade your wealth for paper, so your life can be gold. You pay for crimes that make our nation turn from God and shame. You've taken Satan's number as you've traded in your name. You've given government control to those who do you harm, so they can padlock churches and steal the family farm. And keep your country deep in debt, put men of God in jail. Harass your fellow countrymen while corrupted courts prevail. Your public servants don't uphold the solemn oath they've sworn. Your daughters visit doctors so their children won't be born. Your leaders ship artillery and guns to foreign shores and send your sons to slaughter, fighting other people's wars. Can you regain the freedom for which we fought and died? Or don't you have the courage or the faith to stand with pride? Are there no more values for which you will fight to save? Or do you wish your children to live in fear and to be a slave? People of the Republic, arise and take a stand. Defend the Constitution, the supreme law of the land. Right? And pray to God to keep freedom burning bright. As I awoke, he vanished in the mist of whence he came. His words were true. We are not free. We have ourselves to blame. For even now as tyrants trample each God-given right, we only watch and tremble, too afraid to stand and fight. If he stood by your bedside in a dream while you were asleep, and wonders what remains of our rights he fought to keep, what would be your answer if he called out from the grave? Is this still the land of the free and home of the brave? You know, that kind of makes me want to tear up every time I hear that, because it says exactly why I'm here. It says exactly why I'm here. I'm looking at these children out here, all these children out here, and that's why I'm here.
Yes, sir.
That's why we all should be here.
That's right.
Looking at a lot of the older folks here, and I know they're not here for themselves. We've done served our time. We ain't got much time left in the big picture, big scheme of things. It's these kids. What kind of country are we leaving for them? And it's our fault that we're not leaving them a better country, because we won't stand. Because we won't stand. It's going to take a whole lot more than this to stand up. It's going to take a whole lot more than the state of Maryland to stand up. It needs to happen from coast to coast. It needs to happen from coast to coast. We're so caught up in ourselves. And that's what's wrong with this country. Everybody's so worried about themselves. Until it actually hits home is when you want to stand up, and then it's too late. Who's it too late for? Me? No, it's not too late for me. It probably ain't going to affect me in the next 10, 15, 20 years before I die. It's going to affect these children. It's going to affect these little ones. And it's going to affect their children. We're not going to have a country left to give them. We have so many veterans out here that fought and died for this country.
What did they fight and die for? Getting not what we see now. I guarantee it. I spoke to a World War II veteran the other day, and he said, "Gee, you know, this isn't what I fought for. I fought for the people. I fought for freedom, not for politicians." And that's what's happening, and it's been happening for a long time. And I, for one, I'm tired of it. Can't do it. You can't do it alone. This world needs to stand up. Like I said, this whole place should be filled with trucks, but they want to gripe about fuel prices. Guess what? I'm griping about fuel prices too. But is fuel prices our problem? Officials that can do something about the fuel prices. You know, I've seen the president come up on stage and started talking about an embargo with Russia, and the next day I see the fuel prices go up $2 a gallon. Just talking about it. These guys know just saying it is going to bring up fuel prices. And that's what they did. They brought up fuel prices by saying it. No, it's the People's Convoy that brought it up. You guys are out there wasting gas. Look at the trucks. Look at the trucks. I won't even lie to you. These 15 trucks out here didn't do it. The 100 trucks that were here before didn't do it. It's them opening their mouths, knowing that they're going to make more money by opening their mouths. And it's not right. They already knew that we were going to have a problem with fuel, didn't they? They already knew that there was a war happening in Ukraine. They already knew Russia was involved. They already knew we were going to start an embargo with Russia. So why didn't we open the pipelines and start producing ourselves?
What we do produce, we sell.
Before he even opened his mouth, because they don't care about us. And I'm tired of it. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Like I said, I'm just a Dumbo hillbilly from the Ozarks. That's what I'm seeing. Anybody want to correct me? Crickets. No, you're amazing, sweetheart. What's your question? I didn't know this was a Q&A. I like those though. You want to know how many people, all the political people are going to join us when we go to DC? That's up to them. I guess that'd be a question for them, but I like that question because we've seen Ted Cruz do the same thing now, didn't we?
Yeah. Where is he?
Heck, we've seen that with how many Americans? Let's not even get into the politicians. How many Americans we seen do it? From the time we left Atlanta all the way back to California and then back this way. Well, how many trucks you got? I want to know how many trucks you got before I join in. I seen it with truck drivers. I heard one truck driver tell me, "Gee, I ain't going to get involved. Let me see how California kicks off before we do it." Oh, I didn't set up the rally. That's none of my business. You want to know what's great about this country? Freedom. Freedom. I don't speak for others, I speak for myself. That's why when I came up here today, I said, I speak from my heart. I don't speak from your heart. I got to know a lot of these people out here and they've become family to me. They become family. What I'd like to see is the country to become a family. That's what I'd like to see. Say what you mean what you say. Stand up. Bring it up away. One and two. I wasn't expecting that Q&A. Thanks a lot, Joe.
Oops.
Love you too, man. I love you guys. And that's why I'm here, because I love you guys that much. And I don't mean just you guys. I mean all of you. All of you. I don't know how much longer I have. It doesn't matter to me how much longer I have. It matters to me how much longer they have. These children. My grandchildren. Your grandchildren. Thank you, guys.
Thank you!
Thank you, Trucker G. I do want to tell you, Jonathan Jenkins, who was up here earlier, had asked me about going down to D.C. What do you think? You going, brother? There we go. He wants to take his kids. How about that? This next gentleman that's coming up on the stage He and I got to meet each other here on the ground at the Hagerstown Speedway. He asked me what I was going to do when I faced over regulation. I'm here to tell you, I don't know. I'm hoping you tell me. So, I'm going to give you the microphone. Love you, brother. My tanker yanker friend, Sugar Sugar.
Sugar Sugar. Thank you, Jeremiah. Yeah, I'm a tanker yanker. I haul sugar. Hagerstown, Maryland. How are you tonight? 1, 2, 3. Where can I find somebody young that can hold the mic for about 35 minutes? Y'all ready to sit down? Y'all ready to go home? Wow. Santa, did you hear that? You can go ahead and preach for an hour when I get done. They're not ready to go home. Hour and a half? Okay. You want to hold the mic? No, I'm just kidding. Don't let this, I don't want you to get scared because of the green folder, but I'm going to open it up. I got a lot to say, and I don't know. I was just going to keep it short tonight, but I do want to say thanks to there's a lot of people working behind the scenes, and it's empty. But I did write this down. Kim, where's Kim at? From Delaware. She's a Delaware State lead. Kim? Hi, Kim. Well, she's here somewhere. Kim and Jeremiah and Deb. Jeremiah and Deb are from Maryland. They're Maryland State leads. Y'all know Jeremiah, Deb. I don't know where she's at. He's pointing. Hi, Deb. There she is, sitting down. Thank you guys for putting this together. Thank you for stepping up and being a state lead in Maryland and Delaware. That is a task, that is a job that should pay well, and it should pay more than you're getting paid. Thank you. I also want to say thanks to the new discovered couple on the internet, Scott and Chris, right at the end of the trailer here. I'd like for them to come up, but they won't, but I'd like for them to come up. I'd like for Chris to talk, and Scott. Oh man, you hear that? Those two have worked tirelessly behind the scenes. They were also here the last time we were here, but they are co-leaders, co-organizers, and you don't hear much about them, but like I said in one of the rallies, somebody made a discovery that they think there's a connection between Scott and Chris. They have grandchildren. There is a connection, but thank you, Scott and Chris. Scott had open heart surgery. I don't know when that was, but 3 days later he drove down here in his truck. They brought the truck down here to Hagerstown 3 days after having open heart surgery. Triple bypass, quadruple bypass, something, and they were here to help. So thank you for doing what you're doing. I also want to thank Hagerstown Speedway track here for having us back. There were other places that we were looking at, and here we are. So thank you, Hagerstown Speedway. Thank you. I don't want to forget to say, because it'll probably be a one more thing, that red truck is the dumpster. That all trash goes in this red truck right here. Just FYI, everybody's trash goes in the red truck. Thanks, Devin. Yeah, where Trench is pointing to. Boy, G, you really did it tonight. My time is expired. I mean, wow. He was on a roll. I was like, keep going. Keep going, keep going. Wasn't going to talk about trucker stuff. Don't get me started on trucker stuff. You don't want to hear it. And you don't want to hear me talk about the ATA, the FMCSA, the DOT, whatever else. Because I won't stop. Remember, I went to D.C. I've walked the halls both on the House and the Senate side, knocked on doors, had meetings. I've even met with the ATA. I don't know why, but I did. They're not our friends. They want to say it's about safety, and it's not. FMCSA, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, wants to say it's about safety, and it's not. It's all about money for them. DC is evil. DC is corrupt. You have to tie in the truckers with the American people. Without trucks, you all die unless you know how to live off the land. So it is important. Safety is a big thing. We should all be concerned about that. The ATA only represents about 17% of the trucking industry. They claim they represent the entire trucking industry. They don't.
No.
But they have money because their members are heavily mega carriers, like, I won't name their names, with bad safety scores. They're not our friends.
At least I had a shower.
Not at all. But they have money, and every time we go to DC and protest anything with trucks, the trucking industry, guess who is up at the Rose Garden a day or two later saying how good the trucking industry is and has a truck there, and, you know, oh, it's great. The ATA. It's time that people understand there are rights and there are wrongs. There are things we have to fight for. We have to stand up. We have to fight. Government is the worst evil. Man, gee, you just did such a good job. Somebody said, well, there'll be quite a few people say, you can't go to DC. You can't go into DC. You know it. You're a bones, DC. Well, if we don't own, if Europe or whoever owns DC, then we need to go to DC and we need to take it back, right?
That's ours.
I do want to say about a month and a half ago, we were just thinking about this a few minutes ago. We asked the question almost this very spot. If you, the people, want to go to California or if you want to stay here. And you all know what happened. We're back. And it's warmer.
A lot warmer.
That was a cold night, I think.
They all were.
I think a lot of those nights were cold. But we're back. A lot of you guys I don't know. I see new faces. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting the convoy. Thanks for coming out. And I want to say thanks to all the people at home that are watching that couldn't join or anything like that for whatever reason, health conditions. Thank you for doing your part. They're very active in their states, many of them are. But driving across the states, talking to the people. And I like to ask them, are they involved in their state? Are they involved somehow at a political level or at a local level in their school districts? Like, I think her name was April mentioned. God bless you wherever she's at. Thank you for doing that and becoming involved in your school district. That's what we need. We need people, good people with heads and sound minds to get involved in the school districts. The kids are the important things here. They need to be taught well. You can't get that from whatever those three letters are. That's not teaching. But I ask people, are they involved in their states? Are they involved in anything politically at a state or local level? And many of them were, but there was also those that weren't. Many people said, We are here because of you, the convoy. They got involved because of Ottawa or the People's Convoy. We made them want to get involved somehow in their state and local level. I can't tell you people how important it is to get involved, because there's power in you. The power together to fight together. And when the people in the states come together, that's power. And when the people go to DC, there's power in DC. They don't want that. They're scared of that. We might be small, but we're being watched. We can grow at a moment's notice, and they know that. That's why they're watching.
How was their coffee? Was it good?
I really can't stress enough, get involved at your state level.
Yeah.
Any way you can. If you have questions, reach out to us. We might be able to help you in any way we can. We'll give you ideas, suggestions, put something together, put a rally together, put a convoy together, a protest, whatever you want to do. Put up flyers around your town, you post it on your just do something. Get the word out. People will come. You'd be surprised how many people are just like you. And they just want somebody to take that first step. They want somebody just to make the first move. Because we're all hungry for the truth. We all want somebody to step up. Somebody do something. And let that be you all. You all have the power. Together, we got this. Thank you, Jeremiah.
Thank you, Tanker Yanker. All right, this next guy, I hope one of y'all brought a catcher's mitt. Did somebody bring the catcher's mitt for me? Because I think Santa, he's probably got something wonderful he's going to say, and that microphone, I'm going to have to run up here and catch it to me. Oh.
Why did they give it to
All right,
him?
brother. Your introduction goes without saying. Thank you. Love you, brother. You got that.
Well, it's good to be back in Hagerstown.
Yes, sir.
Some people said we wouldn't come back. Here we are.
We're back.
I told them, I said, I'm coming back, I have to come back by myself. I love y'all. Y'all are awesome. You treated us so good, and it's good to see everybody here tonight. Shook hands with a lot of folks I hadn't seen in quite a while. Good to see you back. I was raised in a Christian home. I had the best mom and daddy that a boy could ever want. And my daddy was our pastor. I grew up on an old story, and I was sitting over there praying, God, what do you want me to say tonight? I don't know what I'm going to say. Y'all don't need to hear from me. You need to hear from him. And I was sitting over there, and I just got a thought. Raised on an old story that many of you may know, there's this little boy, he's out watching his father's sheep, little ruddy complected, teenage boy. His name was David. Everybody that knew David at that time, they just thought he was just Jesse's boy, you know. Nobody knew what kind of heart beat inside of that young man. Bear came out one day, tried to take his father's sheep, and something rose up in him, and he said, that's my daddy's sheep. He killed it. Tried to steal one of the sheep. He said, killed it. See, that's just a story. Santa, that's just a story. No, that really happened. Because with my God, all things are possible. You're still looking at it from a man's point of view. I'm looking at it from heaven's point of view. So one day his daddy gave him some sent him down to the front of the battle. This great Philistine army that came up against the children of Israel, trying to overthrow their government, take them into slavery. Boy, everybody thought there goes a little boy with some cheese and some bread, and some meat. That's all. Oh, he had more than that. He had a heart. He had a heart that had already been in battle that nobody else had seen. And he was taking it up to the front. Some of you already know where I'm going with this, don't you? He walks out there and there's this big giant. I mean a giant. Some folks say he's about 9.5 foot tall. He's roaring like a bear. Looks like a lion. He's defying David's God. He's defying David's kingdom. Defying David's army. All these guys he had looked up to all of his life, he's putting them down and slurring them and slandering them. Something began to rise up in that little boy. He said, the Bible says in 1 Samuel 17, verse 26, and David spoke to the men that stood by him, saying, get this, what shall be done to the man that killeth this Philistine? Little boy. Like these young boys, maybe a little older. He's talking about killing somebody. What's going to be done to the guy that does this? And they told him all this stuff is going to be done. Well, Eliab, his oldest brother, he heard what David was talking about, and he pulls him off to the side. And he begins to rebuke him. You need to shut your mouth. You need to go back. Coming from. How many of you drivers out there that are with us tonight? How many of you convoyers out there tonight? Some of your own families told you need to get back home. You need to go back to your job. Go back out there and tend your father's sheep, David. I like what David says. And David said, what have I now done? What have I done, guys? Is there not a cause? Is there not a cause? Am I out here just running out fuel? Am I out here just wasting my time? I'm asking you, is there not a cause here? If there's not a cause, then I'd go home. But I clearly see a cause that needs men and women of valor and honor to stand up. They're running down my God. You think they're not? Yes, they are. They'd like to padlock every church in America. You know why? Because the church is what's keeping America afloat. And they know that. And they want to destroy the houses of worship across our country. They're coming into our educational systems and teaching our children all kinds of perversion. Is there not a cause? There is a cause. That's why I stand on the back of this trailer tonight. I'm not here just to waste my time. I'm not here just to waste my money. I'm not here just to drive my truck around. I'm here because I see a reason to be here. That's why I'm here. There is a cause. The rest of the world, everybody else in that army of the Israel, they were afraid. Oh, we can't take on that behemoth of a man out there. He's a champion. You know what a champion is? That's somebody that has never lost. In battle, if you lose, you're dead. Goliath had never been defeated. Every challenger that came to him, he left them gurgling in their own blood. And now the government of this world, the government of this nation, has got so many people so afraid of them because they look like this big behemoth, this giant that cannot be overcome. Just today on the CB radio, another driver told me, he said, there's nothing you can do.
There's something I can do.
Really? There's nothing I can do? I can tell you about my God.
I'm just a little old dude standing here with a little water pistol. But I know behind me is an almighty God with a huge cannon of truth pointed right directly at those who would take our freedoms from us. But God says, step out and I will back you. I'm stepping out here tonight, not as just an individual, not as just one man, but I'm stepping out here by orders of an almighty God that where evil is, I must stand against it. Is there not a cause? Is there not a cause? Don't you see the cause? How can you not see the cause? Are you so blind that you don't see what is going on? We need some men of valor, some men of honor. We need some men to stand up and say, we're no longer afraid of you. Let me tell you how afraid David was of Goliath. The Bible said he walked down to the stream and he picks up 5 smooth stones. He only had one enemy, one Goliath, that's all he had. But Jewish historians tell us, get this, that Goliath had 4 brothers. He said, I'm not just coming after one of them big old boys, I'm coming after all 5 of them. Is there not a cause? Do you not see that your liberties are being stripped from you? Can you still sit at home, go to work tomorrow just like it's any other day? Can you get up in the morning, kiss your wife goodbye, go out and earn that meager living, and then come back home and worry how you're going to pay the bills because the government is taking your money and wasting it on countries that hate you? Is there not a cause to get in your vehicle, turn the key, and head to Hagerstown and join with it? Do you not see this cause? Corruption, the filth, the disgusting lifestyles that is represented in that Capitol just a few miles up the road, is that not a cause to stand up and say, we are tired of your nonsense, we are tired of your lies, we are tired of the way you're treating everybody in this country. Country back! You know, I used to think that our politicians were really intelligent people. I did. I thought, man, they get up and they speak these words, and I'm just an old hillbilly, you know. Those big fancy words and those eloquent speeches, I used to think they were so intelligent. But anymore, I'm firmly convinced most of them would drown in my most shallow thought.
I think. Does it work?
It works. Where was the catcher's mitt at? Just saying. Listen, y'all, we got one more person to bring up here. If you haven't realized, this earth was not created by little things moving around. That's my opinion. My good book says it. Okay? There weren't things that moved around that created this. That created you and every one of you. If you don't see this movement as a worthy cause, like what was just said, I'm sorry about your future, because I'm here to fight for your future. Every one of you guys out here tonight and watching these live streams, every one of you need to get up and get here like I am. There's so much going on down in that city right now. It's absolute insanity.
absolute insanity. Them little things that you thought moved around, whatever. I get it. God created us. We're here. And we need to continue to be here for our children, living and in the womb. And that's where I'm going to leave that, and I'm going to open this up to our next speaker. Tom, I appreciate borrowing your trailer tonight, my friend. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, I'm gonna get serious now. I've told a lot of y'all, I haven't got to really tell my story. I've been a business owner for many years. I've been put down and being controlled and everything by the government. Finally, one day I said, you know, Father, I'm tired of this. And I became an ordained minister. Now, I'm not your mainstream ordained minister. I'm not fake. I won't pretend to be something that I'm not. I'm just a hard-working individual like each and every one of these people out here, these other truck drivers, and these people have worked their asses off all their lives. But when I was ordained, I saw a vision. I was standing in a courtroom, and I was in judgment. And I looked over and I saw Satan. And he was standing there. He was the prosecutor. He was the accuser. Now I was sitting there waiting for him to lay all my sins out before God. But he didn't. And when I looked at him, he has that face that was just shifting like it could be anybody. Like an unrecognizable face. And as I was watching him, he kind of bent over like this here, and he slapped his hands together and he rubbed them, and he looked up sideways and he said, Father, I told them everything I was doing to them. It's not my fault they didn't understand me like they didn't understand you. And at that very instant, he like disappeared. And I heard the words plausible deniability. Then I looked down and I saw blood dripping from my hands. And I said, Father, where did this blood come from? I haven't killed anybody. He said, no, you haven't. But it's what you have allowed to happen. Yes. And then he showed me everybody around the world throughout time that's been under a government. That same blood on everybody's hands, I walk around every day seeing it. And I'm sick of seeing it. That's the reason why I'm here right now. Because I don't want to see that blood on my hands anymore. And I said, Father, I don't understand this. He said, well, I give each and every one of you power and authority, and you allow someone else to represent you. They go out and do these things in all our names. And I'm telling you right now, right here, it's time for it to stop. So I'm asking everybody out there that can hear my voice, stand! Wake up! Stand! Stand in Washington! Stand at your state capitol! Stand! Now I'm going to end this with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Use our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. In Jesus Christ's name I pray, amen.
Amen.
So we got an and for God here. Here we go.
Because there's one more thing. See this? There's a stone in there. It's not very windy. Just saying. If anybody feels led to donate, feel free to walk up and put it in the top. There's a nice little slit up there. The money fits right in there, and it'll be used for good use. That's my one more thing, y'all. Have a good night. 8 o'clock meeting, and we'll refuel vehicles tomorrow morning, but be at the meeting at 8 a.m.
All right, thank you all for coming out tonight. Before you all leave, if you guys are interested, over in the other corner over here is the Convention Estates. If you follow Gray Wolf, he's really into that. And one more thing that I continue to forget to do. I need to pay back some of those who helped the convoy while they were in town. Everybody loved that big American flag that hung up there. I want to personally thank Ed from Wreckers and Wrenches, Dave with D&D Towing, and Digging and Rigging for the flag and the use of it. I thank you guys for coming out tonight. I look forward to seeing a lot of old friends and their big trucks come back in here. Give a big shout out to two of my friends, Jeremy Moser. Miss you, brother. Looking forward to maybe seeing my buddy Jimmy Fletcher. Uh-oh, we gotta end one more thing too.
Anybody want a convoy tomorrow? Yeah! It's not gonna be the real one. But if you want a convoy tomorrow, 8 o'clock in the morning, we're gonna have a meeting. We're not going into downtown, that's not what I'm saying, but if you guys want to get out and do some things, we can't go in yet. I haven't given logistics yet, but we'll do a convoy tomorrow, maybe show them that back. So anyway, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Thank y'all. Have a great evening. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Hi, Mom.
Oh, Blinky.
I had to wait until you unmuted it.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you if you wanted to assist me on something.
I'd be happy to.
On Santa's truck.
That's fine.
Do you think we can move the flag back?
I think we can do all kinds of stuff. I'm going.
I was thinking about just taking the system and moving it back over as 50.
I think we can probably do something like that. Yeah, we got to look at it. That thing is a little quickly thought out.
It's up against his sleeper.
We don't want that.
No, we got to move it. That's
how I do.
And if you walk over there, you'll see another reason why we got to move it.
Huh?
I'm asking.
I got to pick up my son off the river. He took a week-long canoe trip, and him and his buddies are 4 hours from home. So. Don't you be back?
Good to see you.
Or do you want
to do it? I'll be back. I'll let you know before I leave for good. How's that?
Everything okay at the homestead?
So he better be.
Oh no, it's like a tornado and 2 hurricanes come through. But somehow my shop's the worst. I went in there and his pickup's parked with plenty of room all around it, and all my stuff is shoved against the other end, and the pallet jack is just buried. I don't even know how he did it, but
Buried under stuff or buried under the ground?
Equipment. Just he's moved everything though.
Yeah, man. This is still my garage.
For 2 months, he must have had other ideas.
He never comes back, man.
Hey, I think that's what he thought. He made sure he wasn't around when I did get back, I'll say that much.
Yeah.
What's under the purple tent, you know?
Yeah. Should have given him a heads up, man. Just let him know you're coming back.
Oh, shoot. Do they have anything to eat around here today? got here? Okay. They're gone.
They're all cleaned up.
I may have dressed. I don't know. I got to see what Mama's doing.
She's standing right there and she wants to babysit Millie, but I'm thinking the sun's going down and I'd rather do it first thing in the morning when the sun comes up. I don't know. I don't think it'll take very long.
Oh,
Two of us working on it. I'll walk over there. And
Yeah,
show
we'll
you
go
what
over. Let's
Mama
go
does.
see what's going on.
Mama can walk over there and say, give us her expert opinion too.
She knows all about them pack cars. They're a general pain. 22 feet. Oh, that's a Kenworth, isn't it? Yeah. Hi, Bruce.
Hi.
How we doing, man? Long time no see.
Yeah.
All right, so he says you want to do the plan tomorrow. What you want to do?
I don't know.
I'd like to put more air to my horns before I go downhill. One more thing. I can hear from here. What?
The Golden Chariot looks more wrinkled than I remember.
Do you remember last time when y'all had dirty laundry?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, make sure you're zoomed out when you're walking.
everything's fine.
You're gonna make them seasick.
Oh no, I set it on the table, the bench last night, and it was going in and out. What? I was out at the house and in my shop and set up the phone on my bench while I was cutting and welding on some stuff. And I walked up to it and it was like zooming in and out.
On your phone? Oh, mine's done that just sitting in the truck. Getting hot.
Maybe that was it. Yeah.
No, I was thinking about just taking the whole thing
and moving it
over the fifth wheel.
We should pull tape on it. Let me see here.
I think we can stretch it.
Well, yeah, but I just want to make sure we get close. Right, we got room. We got room. That one will go there. This one will go back here.
And that's not long enough.
So I meant to measure these two holes before I left and take a piece of 2x2 square tubing, put some holes in it, and put 2 pieces of pipe on it. So we can just bolt it down there. Is that flat inside? Yep, that's fabricated.
That's aluminum.
So it is. This all aluminum frame?
Steel, aluminum. And I found that out by trying to put my light on it, because my light is magnetic.
Magnet to it. So I brought some flagpole holders with me, but I don't know if they'll line up with these bolt holes. But we'll try. Yeah, we can swap that around. We just got to pull it off and move it to this end, and like you said, it'll stretch.
About it. He was wanting to move that American flag up higher.
Yeah.
And then put the People's Convoy and the Canadian flag underneath it. You know,
Yeah.
grab one of them other poles that we got. But I'm thinking,
too long with that slide.
the slider's too long.
So I'll pull tape. We got a little wiggle room in that, but not a whole lot because it'll put them out at an angle. You know what I mean? But I'll measure it. But yeah, this is definitely a AM type situation, I believe.
But now he's talking about going right
At 8 a.m.
at 8 a.m. I don't want to work on it. I'm sorry. I'm still trying to get
Speaking of air to your horns, I got a whole pile of push connects.
Could have used all those, but the hose I got won't It might.
Oh, that's 3/8.
Yeah, but it won't fit the one I have. Airline hose or air compressor hose. I don't have regular.
Okay, you don't have line. That's all right. We'll make it happen. You got all yours. There's more than man. I better grab it. Just a handful of fittings. Yeah.
Check to see how tight you have that. I was going to see if I can pull it back away from the sleeper for now.
Well, it would. Yeah, I think we can. I think we can loosen these up and just kick the whole thing forward. Flag to keep it from rubbing on the. I tell you what, let's see if we can shift it a little bit. You know what I mean? Because that might be all it takes. He had it on here like this before. I think if we. We'll do it in the morning.
Okay.
Even if he is convoying. If we're fixing his flags, what's going to happen? They won't leave without Santa. Boom, done. Right? We'll be good to go. I think this thing's rubbing on his tractor. But I'm pretty sure we could just loosen them all up, kick it forward about 3 inches, and tighten them back up, and it'll be okay. Yeah, you see where it's hitting that fan. It's more like a morning thing. They want to play in the dark. I got to measure some of these frames up because I would assume, I don't know. I would assume all the pack off rollers have the same damn. Beats in the Kenworth like this plate here. I ought to be able to catch that one and that one on nearly any tractor.
Oh wow, yeah. A working monkey wrench.
Oh yeah.
With a monkey.
Yeah, buddy.
She called me a monkey this morning. That's the only store he some gas. They all go to the gas station, get some gas, and put that generator on. Go get me a heater. I got froze last night. Well, listen, I got fucking froze.
I'm going to Android. Hey, have you seen Carolyn? Is she still here? Did she go? Does she want that heat? Oh, Bruce is looking.
I thought fucking froze. It's 46 degrees right now. It's gonna be. Suck it up, buddy.
Hey,
Your truck's fucking running.
Climb in that coffin box.
Huh?
Climb in the coffin box.
I know you can. I did too. Breathe heavy.
Kind of disappointed that it is that cold at night.
So, between the two of you, if at all possible, between the three of us, I'd really like to put more air to my horns before you go home.
I got a whole pile of 3/8 by 1/4 inch MPT push fitting. If I have to get a piece of hose,
I
we'll do
have
it.
all this shit.
I know. Yes, no, that's no.
Hey,
Monkey's horn.
Talk about that. Mud pig. Electrical, you put like a breaker relay.
Yep.
It must not be good. You say you can only do 30 seconds. Yeah, but you still would have sounded good.
Fault.
That's what I thought.
Richard?
I don't know. Dylan, are you there?
Well, no, I think that's where he's at. Somebody said, because I don't know what's going on with this, but we put him in there once where he wanted them, but he couldn't pull a damn trailer, so I ended up having to take him off. We got him wired on an electric switch, and he tells me his air horn is shot. The factory horn is shot. It still works, but I'm just going to pull the line off that, we'll tee into it.
Don's still here. Don's
Hi, bud.
I love you. Where'd you come off of?
Talk about working on.
with us women.
Hey.
I'm talking about me, Mike.
Oh.
I'm
still hungry.
I am too.
I gotta get something. I don't think so.
You had supper.
That was lunch. That was all I had all day.
I have had like a sleeve of Ritz crackers.
This may be
And
a
that
little
beef
tricky
jerky.
because what he's got going on, that is not in the. He's running straight to the battery.
I don't even know what time it is.
He's got a relay at the horn.
8:15.
What on the inside of that horn is a 12-volt valve. And what's going on is that's getting hot and kicking out. So we
Tell her to bring us a pizza.
She said she can't creep when you call her out.
Really, have one at the moment.
Can't what?
She can't creep.
Air hose.
Well, it's just terrible, isn't it now? You shithead.
That's what he was talking about. At the valve.
I'll call you before I go to sleep. I'm figuring out what I'm going to get to eat.
Me, I went and bought 3.8. I thought all the 3.8 cracked.
Oh, the refrigerator came out.
Well, we just
This dog.
Yeah, that part there is fine. I didn't know if you got a breaker in the breaker.
Straight to battery. I got two cables front end for a valve on the inside.
Down the street.
Hey, your wife said we're going up the hill to eat.
We're driving.
Huh?
Driving.
That's what I thought. Mike can't walk that far.
You should see me when I got here. Somebody was upset. Somebody was out the gate filming. Somebody walked to that other somebody and let him have a pizza.
Hey, I'm going to get that heater for
Let me
Bruce.
ask you something. You walked up the hill,
Hey, Dennis,
stairway to the diner.
you want to take the chairs over and grab a pack of cigarettes? Are we going to walk and not drive?
Where's the other chair?
Mike has it.
You let me sit in there, I figure I could at least carry it.
Yeah, I like their food up there. I like their gravy.
Yeah, burger with french fries.
Yeah, that's what we're going to get.
I didn't want to go up there and spend the money, but I gotta eat.
I got to eat.
I got to eat.
I got to
The
eat.
free stuff was kind of sucky, so I didn't eat a lot. It was like lunch. That was hours ago.
They have pretty good food up there.
Yeah.
And even if they get busy, well, I went with you. You know, they're nice and friendly.
Yep. This ain't to make me close though, is it? Serious.
Me too.
Run 'em over, I don't care. I pay you. Nah, he's a good boy.
Oh, it is so good to be back. It really is.
I can't believe that thing fits in the back of that truck.
I know.
That truck's way up there. Dude, that's gonna be a hell of a drive up in. Misjudge it, it might be bad.
I didn't take the CB off to go through the car wash.
Uh-oh.
And it's not one of those automated ones, but it's the old town. And I didn't think about going in there. But yeah, my CB was like scraping through there, and
You're lucky you didn't lose the antenna.
I took off the flags. And then
Forgot the antenna.
off real fast. I know, it's hard to keep up with them.
legs compared to us. Holy shit.
Plus, Bruce was gunning for him.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad we walked back because I probably could use a sweatshirt.
Oh, come on. Really?
I know.
Put on some weight.
Oh, you gotta feed me. I wonder where Dominic went without his wheelchair.
I think he's on crutches. Thought I saw him up there with his
That's a lot of walking.
crutches. Yeah. But it's therapy for him.
Mm-hmm. I was just thinking that. And look at our camp. Isn't it so beautiful? I'm pretty sure this is high enough where we're not going to get wet. We're out of the wind. We'll have a little bit of bugs, but that's no big deal. Alright, I definitely gotta go switch. You can just put them over there by the tree. Because I am sure we will.
Right here?
Yep, that's fine.
The best radio.
I'm sure we'll use them again.
You need to get it peaked and tuned.
Yeah.
Put a linear on it. The 102-inch whip.
I got one. I got to take that CB shop down here.
Is there a shop down here?
Yeah, ACT.
Is it a good old boy shop or is it like a... Are they going to have linears?
I ain't been in there. I'm going to go. Yeah, I just got one I want to get playing.
I almost pulled mine out of my truck to give her so she could walk all over mud pig, but...
Mine's a General Lee. The one I've got is a General Lee. Onyx General Lee. It's all right. Yeah. Ain't nothing. You still filming? And here I am standing in front of it right now.
It's fine. Not too many people will unsubscribe.
So who all's going up?
All of us. Are you driving?
Well, I sure as hell ain't walking. Are you? You're not walking? I'm not walking either.
Well, I'm walking. I mean, I'm not driving. Unless you want to drive.
Yeah, we can drive.
Okay, I guess we're driving.
That stairway's hell.
Alright.
No, you already made me hurt my ankle.
I'll at least drive over. I'll at least drive the half mile to the stairway.
We found a monkey wrench.
Now you're being a smart ass.
That's a crescent wrench, not a monkey wrench.
Yeah, who called it a monkey wrench? No, crescent wrench. Crescent wrench.
Monkey wrenches look more like a pipe wrench or a 90 degree.
Yeah.
You know, I just like my stabbing wrench.
Stabbing wrench?
Yeah.
I guess I'll follow you all up. That's your dinner date?
Yeah.
There you go.
Somebody wanted to see her.
Look who's here.
I'm coming.
You ain't got her a dog yet?
Mike, this is the first time in 25 years I haven't had a dog.
And you're enjoying it.
I don't know. I haven't been home.
Right? Really, right now is a good time not to have a dog. For you guys, you've gone so much.
Right on, I can't keep an eye on
Silly
it.
dog. You being a silly guy. Girl, what is it, boy or girl?
It.
They're the best.
Female. But she's an it.
Beauty.
She's an it.
Yeah, all mine are it.
Well, we can walk if we're walking. That's fine too.
It doesn't matter.
I thought you said you couldn't walk up there.
Walk up there. He can't walk up there.
Why can't you walk up there?
We're older gentlemen.
How old are you?
Yeah.
58.
Okay. I know he's younger than I am.
Oh, I am.
How old are you?
54.
Oh, you gotta treat your elders like with respect.
Yeah, you can kiss my very wife.
Hey, I tried.
You know why? Because my dad is 75 years old and still whip my ass.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
If my dad was still here, he'd probably, well, I know he could whip my ass, but I would never swing
I
back.
respect the ones that can still whip my ass.
There you go.
Hey Dennis, did you get another pack out?
Oh, speaking of which, yeah, I need to go, when I drop her off, don't let me forget to grab the pack off the dad.
They're right behind the thing. I know, I figured that I could probably have walked up there by now. So that's why I was cool with walking.
Are we walking?
I don't care. But I know I could walk up there quicker than what it takes you to decide.
I talked to a subscriber. I didn't talk. I have a subscriber that says she's going to come up this weekend just to meet me.
I know. I've been waiting for that because I think you're just wishful thinking.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah. Does she even exist? I haven't met her yet.
Sure, she's real.
Of course.
I mean, she's sitting there. She was the only one that found me on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And her picture is on.
That's a good start.
Okay. We exchanged phone numbers.
Yeah.
And she sent me a photo, and it matches, and it's a different picture, but the face matches.
Is she a Nigerian princess?
No.
All right.
She's a Kentucky-born Tennessee resident.
That doesn't sound too bad.
Good area.
And I talked to her for the first time on the phone tonight, and she's got a draw.
Oh.
But we cannot wait to meet you.
Listen, them girls that talk like that are usually more accurate at 25 yards with a half-full beer
Are
bottle.
you going to be okay walking back?
Downhill coming back. I'm more worried about the uphill. Are you going to be all right walking back? Yeah, it's downhill.
Well, after that, you know, you'll have all that gravy and french fries and beef in your belly.
Did you see the Mad Max film?
I did. I like that.
Yeah. Very creative.
I know. It's like multi-level.
I was thinking about building an old man.
And it even has a
This food here wasn't that good, so I didn't go out of it.
But
They got none of the salad. It was macaroni, potato salad, coleslaw. I was sitting out beside it. I wasn't chancing that.
No, I keep teasing Tom that, you know, some people online might not be what they're trying to appear they are.
Dragged it over there. It was all set up and mattress. And then it's all drag it over. No profile trailer, and then you still have to let the air out of the tires.
I really like going honk, 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 honk.
Yep, and then bang, 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 bang.
Real hot, bud. So them trees are going to be nice. What's wrong with me? Why? Huh?
Yes, Black Wolf is who we picked up along the way. He said he picked up us stragglers, but we actually had it planned.
This boy right here was gracious enough to let me.
But he wouldn't let me tell anyone. So when Carly earlier saw that it was Black Wolf, that's why I ignored it and couldn't say anything.
80 miles an hour down, no highway. Really? Ain't that some bullshit? I didn't get a chance to catch that, no.
There's Miss Lily.
My tires ain't rated for 80. Well, neither are mine. There's 15
She's
of us
going
in
to
all
bed.
Yeah. And we hit the freeway. No, I did watch some of that because you had Rosie and Kat.
She'll come right up to the camera, but if I don't have the camera, she runs away. She knows I'll
that
chase her.
slowed that couldn't keep up. And they did their own little convoy, and the rest of them all kept up with me.
Yep, that one little green car in the back. I remember that. I was just sad that I had to leave y'all in Casper.
They got me kind of in the water.
Boy, it was beautiful over there, though.
Yeah, I saw you guys walking through the waterfalls.
Oh, it was so nice.
No, that was nice. Yeah, we try. If we got a few hours, we try and find someplace halfway decent to go see. You know.
I always do.
At least here we kind of know the area, and we still haven't explored any of it.
Yeah, we haven't.
We know the outer belt pretty good, or the beltway.
Well, the small towns all around here are beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Some of them are extremely liberal, but they're beautiful.
Yes.
Oh, I know dogs are people.
Full of history.
No, I don't like that. So this is the famous black wolf. Well, it's nice to meet you. I'm Mike. The infamous black wolf.
Infamous, yeah. I come and go as I please.
That's the way to do it. So, yeah.
There we go, focusing.
So, listen, I did everything in my power.
Buffy. I'll have to sneak and live stream it. Gosh, I probably should videotape it.
No. I know. So his truck is going to be fixed up, and his truck is being okay. I've already put in a
Don't worry, I'm not going for it.
Oh, I'm not. I'll probably get outbid, but still. I put in what I thought I could afford. Good. Because for me,
I said I could walk there faster
first thing I
than
do is
them.
put it on a flatbed, bring it right
Driving,
back,
walking.
right back to the convoy, and have everybody sign it and decorate it with all the convoy stuff.
Good idea. Get some white paint markers.
And get the whole thing decorated up, and then take it to a paint shop.
There we go.
And have them seven layers
Well,
of
it ain't
clear
about
coat.
having fun.
Keep it that way.
Hopefully get something done.
Then we can auction it off for some good cause.
So, the first time when we were here, very first night, we were down in the middle. And then it rained a lot, and we moved over to where that but we were way back there in the other corner last time. So we're kind of used to this walk.
Fire truck's not playing. People play with the fire. All right, bud, I'll talk to you at some point.
Absolutely.
All right, I love
You have to be quiet out there.
So don't be up there.
Sundown, and it is
All right, I
sundown.
love you, bud. We'll fill this the last legal shoot.
Yeah, did you hear the gunshots?
No, last time we were here, it was snowing. And there's Eddie.
Yes, there is.
Oh yeah. As fast as we could.
But Saturday, kind of latest. In order, mister, or you're grounded. They can hear me. Remember, Joe? Messages with him. If you had a feeling you could get a hold of you, this thing was done. Yeah, I don't quite good, so I try to do the talk tack.
Oh, I know it. Even when sometimes I'm typing it out, it keeps switching it to some other word that it wants to write instead.
There's a golden chariot, so oh, that's one that the deer hit. That's one the deer hit this morning, is it? They said the golden chariot, didn't they?
Yeah, that's golden chariots. Car.
Right by the deer this morning.
Well, that sucks. I mean,
hey, Dennis, you're making the trip up the hill a little longer.
Look around and see what's going on.
Just because you got longer legs, you can go faster. It ain't fair.
oh, I know, Dawn.
So I got a 7 a.m. meeting over at Santa's truck.
All right.
To reconfigure some stuff that got done.
All right. What do you mean reconfigure stuff about that? Okay. Where's Bruce? Bruce.
I don't know his real name.
Oh, Black Wolf, is he coming to dinner?
He was watching with this. I thought
He's probably just talking. He knows where we're going.
What's this one's name? I forgot. Shithead.
Yeah.
Blinky. Shithead.
That's
I like
shithead.
shithead. It fits. You call me asshole if you want. I don't care.
I call him
If you're mad.
usually dumbass, really.
Then I called her dingbat. I understand why now. I don't think once I called her that. You should. No, I'm just messing. Gotta have fun. You only go around once. I miss camping up there.
I'm afraid to push him too far. All D's played his music. Yeah, I'm afraid to push him because what if one of them has a heart attack and then it's going to delay me a couple hours eating. Mike already almost fell and twisted his ankle. They even haven't had any liquor. So very pretty.
If it was snowing out, I'd let you grab a hold of the bumper and you could, what do we call that when we were kids? Hopping cars.
Yeah.
We'd sit at the four-way stop when they'd come out, you grab the
We
bumper.
did it.
My finger got caught in there one time. I had to ride her all the way to their house.
Was she cute at least?
No, it's an old lady. We were going by my house one time, and the concrete was dry where my sister parked. We waited about a block. My brother hit that. He was holding on like that, and it just launched him up in the air out in the yard. The old man stopped and said, "Is he okay?" He said, "He's okay. Just keep going." He was laying over there.
Yeah, my dad used to do that for us. We used to
They're not even walking in the right direction.
It didn't matter really.
Almost there. No. Oh, goodness. They act like we've never been here before. You're afraid of the hill. I've got an empty stomach. So it is good to go hiking. It does keep you in a little bit of shape.
Like go down, just kick me in the chest a couple times. That'll be good.
You feeling okay?
My ankles. You know, they've been broke. They don't work like they should sometimes.
Here comes Blinky.
And I got a broken pin.
Handling those stairs with ease
Well, they couldn't
while
fix it at the
texting.
time because of no.
There's
I had
music.
The emergency surgery only. Right.
And goodness only knows what they're going to be saying. So I'm going to have to mute you. Sorry.
I can't breathe, but I
Okay, pit crew, I'm gonna go ahead and turn you off, and then when we get back to camp, we will stream again, do a recap, and plan out our day tomorrow, and tell y'all good night. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.